connection
and opportunity.
all in one place. Come join the community. So text it now, don't wait in line. Fight for life. 949298290. That's 9290290.
Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is, there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
The truth of our potential, to reach our potential, is exactly what Nick Saban was talking about in building champions, not worrying about championships. Obviously, when you're in a season, the championship is your potential, but you don't get there by focusing in on the championship. You get there by focusing in on what it takes to accelerate, aggregate, and compound the behaviors that are necessary. You see, your thoughts are the first experience, and those thoughts turn into meaning or perspective. And that perspective and that meaning turns into behavior. And those behaviors turn into championships or results. Most people believe their limitations come from the lack of skills, knowledge, and talent, the lack of opportunity, the lack of luck, the lack of resources, education, or even connections. Coming is the interference. It's the reaction to fear. It is those things that accelerate us into the wrong direction. We've all experienced moments when we knew what action to take, but hesitated because of circumstance. The judgments, the conditions, the laughing, the scoffing, the making fun of, the rejections even, or maybe the possibility of failure. The reaction to fear is not a circumstance. It's a mindset. It's a mental state. It's a becoming in itself. And that mental states can be changed. When we learn to identify the reaction to fear, which is omnipresent, always there, because uncertainty is always there, because we don't know what we don't know. The only certainty we know is you get 24 hours a day, every day of your life, except for the last day of your life. God will cheat you. We need to understand it. We need to release it or move through it. We will unlock the access to the infinite intelligence, intuition, inspiration, and the infinite possibility of our greatest potential. Once again, to remind you, if you would like the replay of this training or a guide or exercise or a book, all you got to do is email me. Nick mentioned the beloved servant. David means beloved. @D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Let me be that beloved servant. Please make your request for the exercises, guides, and replay. David@dmeltzer.com. The reaction to fear, lesson 1, is the enemy of our acceleration, our aggregation, our behavioral achievements. The reaction to fear quietly destroys initiative. It ruins our imagination. It stops persisting and interferes with our enthusiasm. Entheos means with God. It even affects our decision making. It causes us to play smaller than we're capable of playing. I see so many people that I coach, and it reminds me of the parable of a guy fishing. I was sitting there fishing in Montana, and I couldn't catch shit, to be honest. I'm not a very good fisherman, but the guy next to me was pulling them in, and he would catch these big fish and then throw it back, and then he'd keep the small ones. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Why do you throw back the big ones? He said, well, I only have a 9-inch frying pan, so can't fit those big fish. How big are you playing? How big is your frying pan? It should be very, very big, considering how big you are and what is connected through and to you. So what happens is we delay our opportunities. We overanalyze decisions, trying to reconcile emotion with logic. We seek certainty before acting, which will never happen. And we abandon our dreams and our potential before giving ourselves a chance to progress. Even though we know 90% of the progress comes from a non-negotiable behavior, 10% comes from circumstantial behavior, we allow the 10%, the 12 hours of circumstantial behavior in our lives, to stop us from getting to where we want to be or better. Fear isn't the evidence that we should stop, it's the evidence of growth. It exists on every side. Whenever fear appears, we should ask ourselves, what am I afraid of losing? How am I responding to it? And what am I afraid of not becoming? And how big is my frying pan? The defining moments, the successes, the historical relevances, and ask, how has that influenced my behavior? Because I'm now going to align the meaning of that past mistakes, setbacks, and failures with where I want to become or better. All we got to do is reframe, readjust, recollect, remind, and remember that these are indicators of growth. Make sure that you are taking action with uncertainty to the best of your ability. If anybody would like the first exercise or any of the replay of the reaction to fear is the enemy of achievement, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. The second lesson is that fear is beneath all fears of all circumstances, all uncertainty. Fear often appears in so many different forms. We have a fear of basically 3 things that allow us, right? We want to defend ourselves from what we're afraid of. We want to control what is uncertain or what we're afraid of. And we want to prove ourselves with that uncertainty. And those are all things that are going to interfere with your potential. Fear often appears in those different forms with the fear of death or poverty or criticism, rejection, loss, aging, failure, or mostly the unknown, which is omnipresent. Yet most fears share the same root. We are worried about being judged, failing publicly, losing relationships, and falling short of expectations. We used to only fear our body, and then we started fearing our thoughts, and now we fear most the perception that other people have of us. And that fear evokes the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, or resentful, worried, all of these different interfering energies from the infinite that we are a part and parcel to. The reminded, remembered recollection of the infinite intelligence, intuition, energy, inspiration, all the things that are utilized in order to reach our potential. All of these things and most fears are variations of we are not enough. And we are not enough stems from what? The lack of faith. The lack of faith. The lack of faith that we don't know. There's no evidence that we're enough. And most of the time, the evidence is contrary that we're enough. Most of the time, there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary that we're going to get to where we want to be or better. There's absolutely no evidence or the evidence is contrary that there is an omniscient, all-powerful, infinite, abundant, unified system of thought, that there is an omniscient, infinite amount of intelligence, intuition, inspiration, and energy. But there is, if you have faith. You are enough because look who you walk with every day, but you're not going to find. The truth is, our value has never been in question. Not when we have faith and we seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge has become a commodity with AI. Do you know how much knowledge is out there and how accessible knowledge is? Do you know how powerful knowledge today is? Knowledge, when I was a kid, knowledge is power. Knowledge is a commodity. Anybody can access knowledge. But wisdom is like gold. It keeps doubling in its value faster and faster. Wisdom, the ability to give meaning to your past, align with your future, to become what you can become, to who you want to be or better. That wisdom and faith to shorten the distance of resistance that's created by this fear, the truth of our potential. The truth has never been in question. Our responsibility and accountability is not to prove or defend or control our worth, but it's to illustrate our genius, and the genius that we have is the expression of our God. Fear beneath all fears is we're not enough. Look within you and know that you are. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? If you would like the guides and exercise for lesson 2 or lesson 1 or the replay of the entire training, just email me. David means beloved. @D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Let me be a beloved servant. Send you the exercises, the guides, and my books. The third lesson in the truth about our potential is fear creates resistance. I call it interference. Interference predisposes us to the fact that I am. What am I doing to interfere with it? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're reacting to the uncertainty and fear that's omnipresent every single day. You're reacting to the no evidence and the evidence contrary to what you want to be in the wrong direction. You're creating resistance to where you want to be or better, which is your potential, not other people's potential, not what's missing, not what you don't have, not what you don't want, not what other people want for you, and certainly not what social media wants for you. See, fear is omnipresent, so it doesn't directly show up when things are consistent in its own presence. They don't show up because they are in existence. And so instead, it disguises itself as behaviors that keep us stuck, behaviors that in the short run feel good. But what I suggest to you is to learn to love the things that don't feel good so they start to feel good. Have you ever noticed a transition of work into a position, this transition where you keep working out so much that now you don't feel good if you don't work out? This is how behaviors work. This is what keeps us stuck, is we keep doing what feels good instead of learning to love what doesn't feel good. So then that we love that doesn't feel good feels good. Those people that can learn to love what they don't like or love about what they love, about the behaviors that put us towards the trajectory of our potential, are the ones who succeed and are champions. And champions win what? Championships. How does the reaction to fear show up? It shows up in the feeling of procrastination, the feeling of perfectionism, the feeling of excuses and blame and shame and justification, in indecision. It shows up in so many different ways where it interferes with where you want to be or better. It's not the fear that creates the resistance, it's the reaction to fear, the need to defend, to prove, and to control your life, which is uncertain in its nature, instead of learning through accountability and asking ourselves, what did I do to be responsible? What did I do to detract this? What did I do to participate in this perception that's creating these behaviors, that's creating these results? Because thoughts create perceptions, perceptions create behaviors, and behaviors create results. It is the resistance that often wears fear as a disguise, the uncertainty and circumstances of the day, the no evidence, the evidence contrary to where we want to be. Whenever we find ourselves avoiding something important, we should not ask what fear is creating this resistance. We should ask what response to the fear is interfering with my resistance. It need to be right, it need to be offended, it need to be worried, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, separate, inferior, superior. What is my response that is evoked by my need to defend, prove, or control my life? We need to look for the clues of resistance and interference. We need to look for the patterns of that interference so we make better decisions, so we don't feel overwhelmed and procrastinate. Replace the A's. If you want to exercise or guide about replacing the A's, just email me, David, that's beloved, at D, that's my first initial, Meltzer, that means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Replace the A's. Replace avoidance with awareness. Life becomes easy when you're aware, because you're aware of the dis-easy, of the interference and resistance. When you replace the A's, things are easy, not dis-easy. Take immediate action in the AAA philosophy of action, of alignment, and adjustment. Take immediate action once you get alignment with the meaning of the past in your divine direction, and the one thing will happen that you've been postponing, or stuck on. If you would like the exercise, the AAA, the replace the A exercise, David means beloved, at D is my first initial, Meltzer means servant. Let me be that beloved servant. Lesson number 4, action builds confidence. See, the more comfortable and confident we are, the better our perceptions are. It's one of the greatest qualities of a salesperson, because the more comfortable and confident they are in the perceived value that they articulate, the more money or the bigger margins that we make. Comfortability and confidence allows ease, which allows greater inertia and momentum in the actions that we take. Most people wait to feel confident and comfortable before taking action, but the way that we feel comfortable and confident is through preparation, and preparation occurs through alignment of the meaning of the past with our divine direction of where we'd like to be in the future or what we would like to become in the future. The truth is, the comfortability and confidence created through alignment, action, and the preparation for adjustment, knowing that if we come up with a well-developed plan and we come up with well-developed action, that God will laugh at us. But we have non-negotiable behavior in that plan where it's non-circumstantial. So the majority of our progress in the pursuit of our potential will still accelerate, aggregate, and compound while we're just getting better and better at understanding the circumstantial behaviors that are there. All the skills, knowledge, and desire we've ever developed becomes easier after what? Repetition. And human beings and humans, in human nature, we hate repetition and we hate honesty. We hate the truth. That's why most great leaders are annoying, because they're repetitive and honest. They practice and have experience and learn subtly, consciously, subconsciously, even unconsciously, in a competency that allows them to succeed, to be prepared. Courage is not the absence of fear. Fear is omnipresent. Courage is preparation. Courage is learning to love what you don't like or love about what you love. Courage is doing what you don't like. Courage is doing what doesn't feel good in the short term, but will feel great in the long term. Courage is movement. Practice fear, and it determines your reaction to it. Instead of the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, or resentful, we stop, drop, and roll into the correct divine direction. Confidence and comfortability is earned through alignment, action, and adjustment, and reinforced through repetition and preparation. That AAA strategy will help to assist you to have the appropriate clues, patterns, and choices in your life. The appropriate actions aligned in your divine direction are better. And it will build confidence and comfortability, which will impact your life more than anything else. Those people that are comfortable and confident are successful in manifesting, materializing, and monetizing their life. If you want to manifest, monetize, or materialize what you desire or better, then utilize the AAA strategy, utilize action, adjustment, and alignment in order to facilitate what you want. Be more courageous by utilizing the AAA strategy. Keep on moving in the presence of uncertainty, of fear, and the reaction to it. Focus on the progress and the behaviors that get you to where you want to be or better. Categorize your behaviors. Is this behavior aligned with where I want to be or better, or is it interfering with it? And align them as you go along. Allow your experiences to replace uncertainty. It's okay. It's okay. Allow the experiences to replace uncertainty, which will bring greater confidence and comfortability, which will bring greater success, acceleration, aggregation, and compounding of what you desire. This is the truth of our potential. Your skills and knowledge are just the basement. It's the desire that is the delta that will get you to where you want to be or better. But it takes the alignment, action, and adjustment. It takes repetition. It takes preparation in order to facilitate the mathematical equation of luck, which is what we pay attention to and what we give intention to. What we do, what we say, what we think, what we feel, and what we believe in alignment with our divine direction equal the coincidences, the coinciding of the universe and what we want or better. If you would like lesson 4, the AAA strategy, just email me. David means beloved at D, first initial, Meltzer means servant, David at dmeltzer.com. I also will give you the replay of the training if you'd like, or my book. It doesn't matter. Lesson number 5, purpose. The thoughts about our purpose, the thoughts that we have create a perception, behavior creates results. So the purpose that we have, the thoughts about our purpose are really important because it shortens the distance of resistance or interference that our reaction to fear creates, as fear is omnipresent and so is uncertainty. The reaction to fear becomes smaller with our mission becoming larger, our frying pan becoming bigger. People with a compelling purpose overcome obstacles faster because they have a reason or a purpose greater than their pain. They have a purpose greater than self. And they utilize consistent, persistent pursuit of that potential in order to facilitate their purpose and the thoughts about their purpose that creates the perception of their purpose, which creates the behavior of their purpose, which creates their results of purpose. And their purpose is greater than that pain. When we are deeply connected to serving others, to knowing our who can we help and who can help us? Because when we allow other people to help us, we're helping others as well, just so you know. Because when people are able and capable of helping someone, they're at their highest self, they're closest to God. So when you ask for help or allow someone to help you, you are giving them the gift, you are serving them the ability to help you, which gives them a closer, higher self and a closer feeling to God. When we deeply connected to serving others, building something meaningful in alignment with our divine direction or better, or fulfilling our mission aligned with our divine direction or better, the interference, the fear, the reaction to fear loses most of its influence. We shorten the distance of resistance with the wisdom and the faith that we have in the divine direction, in the philosophy of this idea of thoughts, perception, behavior, results. Purpose creates the direction, the divine direction, and allows us to take discipline, the discipline of working but never making money, the discipline of working and not spending time with our family, the discipline of working and ruining our health. It takes that and creates a divine direction of devotional behavior so that we make money, spend time with our family, and are very healthy, happy, wealthy, and worthy. This devotion creates momentum because it accelerates, aggregates, and compounds in the divine direction. And that momentum is what shortens the distance of resistance through wisdom and fear so that we get to where we want to be or better faster because it's aggregating, accelerating, and compounding exponentially where we want to be or better. When our why becomes bigger than our pain, our fear, our interference, our actions become unstoppable, allowing us to get to where we want to be or better. The purpose that you have has to be greater than the pain. You have to know what you want personally, what you want experientially, what you want giving wise, and what you want receiving wise. In alignment with your divine direction and the devotional behaviors that it'll take there to get there. And most importantly, aligning the meaning of the past, the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, the defining moments, the historical relevances of your past, even the successes of your past with where you want to be or better, because you have power to give meaning to everything you see. You have that perception, which will create the behaviors to get you aligned with the divine of where you want to be or better. And then you know your who you can help and who can help us. That purpose, greater than the pain, will clear and shorten the distance of resistance created by your reaction to fear. If you would like lesson number 5 to shorten the distance of resistance in your life, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David means beloved. At D, first initial, Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Let me be closer to God. Help me get to where you want to be better. David@dmeltzer.com. Lesson number 6. Can we mute that, Nick? Lesson number 6. We need to replace the reaction to fear with a faith response, utilizing wisdom, a faith response, regardless of what that means to you. I believe everybody needs to have faith. They need to believe in something bigger than themselves that loves them more than their mom, that will protect them, promote them, love and perfect them when there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where they want to be. Replace it. This reaction to fear, this interference, and faith cannot occupy the same space at the same time. And that space is so important. What you fill your vessel with, what you fill the space with, it plays the music that you like to hear. There is no music without space. One focuses on what might go wrong, what's missing, what they don't have, what other people think, or what social media wants for them, instead of what they desire and what's possible by knowing what they want in that divine direction, aligning the meaning of the path, who they can help and who can calendar, knowing they're non-negotiables. This is what I'm going to do every day, regardless of the circumstances. For 12 hours a day, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to have my health, my family, my faith, my finance, the study of time and relativity. And for the other 12 hours, that only creates 10% of my progress towards my potential. I get to decide whatever I want. I just want to get better at prioritizing the now and doing it now and doing it next. Because 100% of the things you do get done now. 100% of the things you do now get done. 100% of the things you do now get done. 99% of all statistics are made up, but that one's not. I promise you. Coaching so many different executives, people face the exact same challenges all the time. Same challenges, different faces. So many people see limitations while the other sees opportunities. The ones who see limitations live in a world of nothingness. They roll a boulder to the top of the hill just to have it roll down to the bottom of the hill. They live their lives like tubes, food in, food out. But that nothingness goes away when you know what you want, because when you know what you want in the divine direction of where you want to be, in line the meaning of the past with it, it becomes a possibility. When you know your who you can help and who can help you, it becomes a probability. When you know your how to be student of the calendar, to be productive, accessible, and gracious, to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful, it becomes your perspective. And what we know about perspective, it creates behaviors, and behaviors create results. And if you do it now, you'll have the antidote of prioritization of what's important to you by knowing the what, the who, and the how. You'll have the antidote to feeling overwhelmed. You'll have the antidote to feeling procrastination. You will have prioritization, knowing what's important to you. And then you can apply the why by identifying what you're doing to interfere with it, categorizing the behaviors of, is this aligned with my divine direction, or is this interfering with it? If it's interfering with it, I'm not going to try to resist it. I'm not going to try to go over it. I'm not going to try to go under it. I'm not going to try to go around it. I'm not going to lie to it, cheat it, deny it. I'm just going to supply it with my inspiration, intelligence, and intuition and energy that's infinite in its nature. When my mind, my body, and soul are on fire, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to drop, and I'm just going to roll into my divine direction. Because where my attention and intention of what I do, say, think, feel, and believe goes, that's where the energy flows. The more we feed our faith, the less power that omnipresent interference has over our lives and our decisions. One of the greatest practices you can have is gratitude. And if anybody would like the gratitude challenge that I have, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. David means beloved. D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Let me give you this gratitude challenge, because the practice of gratitude daily will change your life. Will shorten the distance of resistance. We want to surround ourselves with positivity, how to ditch toxicity, comfortable, courageous, confident people. We want to focus in on the possibilities, probabilities, perspective, and reality that we create through the divine direction and alignment of the meaning of the past with it. We want to strengthen our faith through consistent action, non-negotiable behavior. No matter what happens today, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to spend time on my health, spend time on my faith, my finance, the study of time, and the study of relativity. I vacation every day. Look behind me. Look behind me. I vacation every day, whether it's Louisville, Michigan, Chicago, whether it's Dallas, this week, San Diego. I vacation every day. But do I have activity I get paid for? Fudge, yes. If you would like lesson number 6, replacing the interference with faith, or the gratitude challenge, David means beloved. At D is my first initial. Meltzer means servant. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We know our divine direction. Our goal is not to eliminate fear. It's impossible. It's like eliminating energy, eliminating intelligence, intuition, inspiration. You can't eliminate it. These are omnipresent circumstances that exist. Our objective in the pursuit of the truth of our potential is to stop allowing our reaction to fear to interfere with our acceleration, our aggregation, and the compounding of results. We need to have the right thoughts that turn into the perception, the perceptions to have the right behaviors, and the right behaviors aligned with our divine direction and the meaning of the past to get us the results that we desire or better. Every full, purposeful thing that we call achievements in our lives has likely required us to step forward before we felt fully ready. We needed to get that alignment to take action and prepare for adjustment. But we weren't fully ready when we were aligned or when we took action. That's why we prepare for adjustment, because we don't control things. We don't have to defend ourselves. We don't have to prove anything to anyone. Growth has always existed beyond the certainty that we seek. Fear isn't our enemy. It's the reaction to the fear that is. Fear is not our enemy. It may be a catalyst, but not our enemy. It's how we react to fear that's our enemy. Fear is our teacher. It's an indicator, a promoter, a protector, a lover, and a perfecter. Fear itself is our teacher, teaching us how to react to the uncertainty of circumstance that exists every single day when there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where we want to be or better. The truth of our potential is this. We are capable of far more than fear or the reaction. That's incredible. Hey, man, that's so cool. We are capable of far more than what fear would have us believe. How big's your frying pan? Are you afraid to have too big of a frying pan to catch too big of a fish? Use consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. This is the truth. Your skills and knowledge are not your potential. It is the basement. It is that which you grow from. It is the desire. That's the delta that will get you to where you want to be or better. This has been the truth of our potential training. If you would like this training, I just had a guy walk by watching this training at the same beach I'm at. But if you would like the guy's exercises, David means beloved at D, first initial, Meltzer means servant. Let me be your beloved servant. David@dmeltzer.com. All right, Nick Avoam, why don't you go ahead, reset the room, and we'll take some questions. This is the first time someone's actually walked by watching my training when I'm at the beach. It's hilarious. He walked by and showed me his phone, Nick. Anyway, it's all you. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as we wrap up what is the first half of today's training, we're now going to transition into the Q&A period. So for everybody joining us, whether you are live here on the webinar, the multicast on all platforms, or whether you are in the Breakfast with Champions, you can either go ahead and put your questions into the room chat, or of course, if you're on Clubhouse, use the hand icon to request to join the stage, and we will of course bring you up. And as one final reminder, I know everybody wants the guide and exercise from today's today's training. So all you need to do to get the replay, the guide and exercise, or even any of the invitations but not obligations is email the beloved servant himself, David at dmeltzer.com. Once again, that is just David at dmeltzer.com. And without further ado, for the first question of the day, we have the Meltzer double, just kindred spirits, no family affiliation, Mr. Eric Meltzer, ready to rock and roll with the first question. Eric, the mic is yours, my friend. Feel free to unmute yourself and get us rocking and rolling.
Cool. Thank you so much, Nick and Dave. I really appreciate this. The question that I have, or the issue, is when I'm listening to you give trainings, I feel so uplifted, and it seems rather difficult to carry that same optimism, even though I'm doing pretty good with non-negotiables. How have you found, or how do you keep that warmth and feeling that I'm being loved, protected, perfected, day in and day out? It's hard for me to maintain that.
Yeah, it's interesting because one of the dangers of being well rehearsed in your speaking capability is that you have to be you have to be aware. Sorry, I'm replacing my A's. You have to be aware that you could end up being what's called intellectual entertainment. Because intellectual entertainment will get you up, get you started, get you back up, get you back started, but it ain't going to get you there. And so what's going to get you there, Eric, is to actually practice the 5 daily practices and stop attaching yourself to these outcomes of happiness instead of saying I am happy, and focus primarily on what you're doing to interfere with it, which will keep you into positivity, because you're shortening the amount of time that you're spending interfering with this doubt or fear or whatever is interfering with your potential. And so what I want you to do is to double down on the daily practices. I want you to stop, drop, and roll more. I want you to shorten the distance of resistance which you're creating in your life, and also be aware of, hey, part of the reason I get uplifted is the intellectual entertainment that David gives us in these trainings is here to get me started, get me up, get me back started. But what he's teaching is what's going to get me there, because he's going to allow me to spend more time inspired, intelligent, intuitive, as well as high energy. And we know that things happen very slowly and all of a sudden. So do your best to practice through the daily practices beyond your non-negotiable behavior. You still have 12 hours of awake time. The majority of non-negotiable behavior is sleep. It will absolutely assist you in the long run to get you where you want to be or better. It will give you 90% of the progress that you make, but it doesn't stop you from the other 12 hours being in some sort of interference that's creating this toxicity or resistance in your life. So I want you, one, to be aware of the danger of intellectual entertainment, but two, to really double down on the practices of knowing what I want, who can I help, who can help me, how to get it done, and prioritize your days accordingly and apply your why. Apply your why. If you're applying your why, you cannot be interfering with your why. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's immensely helpful. I really appreciate it.
You're immensely helpful, and I appreciate you, and I really enjoy your last name a lot. You know, your last name means servant.
It's not too shabby, huh?
No, it's pretty cool. All right, Walmer, I know you wish you were a Meltzer, but you're a Glazer. And Glazer means kiss ass, by the way. That's, I mean, my kids told me that.
From that.
That's
My
kids, that's their name. That's like my kids say that's what Glazer means. I know you're not a kiss app, but that's what Glazer is for these kids. Anyway, I'm joking. I love you.
We learned from the genius Miles. He brings us back the report on what's cool nowadays. But for our next question and or comment, we have Pastor Jeff, who is here on Clubhouse. So Pastor Jeff, my friend, feel free to unmute yourself and keep us rocking and rolling.
Well, thank you, Nick. It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood. This week, we were enlightened by T.M. Hyman. I thought this was very ironic. We were enlightened on the collaboration that Dick's Sporting Store did with Lids. And David, all I could think of when he shared that was, your number one best-selling book of all, well, I don't know if it's of all time, but your number one best-selling book now, that is Don't Do Business with Dicks. That's all. Y'all have a fantastic day.
Very good. Yeah. I love the title of the book because it sells books, but the original title of the book is How to Ditch Toxicity from Your Life and Surround Yourself with Positive Influences. But Simon & Schuster said that's not going to sell, which was proven by compassionate capitalism. Nobody was pulling compassionate capitalism off the shelf. But I've had people buy that book because of the title right out of mine and Nick's hands. Walking in the airport, he's like, I got to have that book. So thank you so much. And just for legality's sakes, please do business with Dick's Sporting Goods, but surround yourself with positive influences. The Dick's that I'm talking about resembles the big rocket on the front of my of my cover. All right, Wammer, we're going totally off topic. I love the preacher talking about dicks. What do you like about today?
I love what is our community of people that want to help one another and know people that can help one another.
Yes.
I can tell you that Brent Nichols is a part of that community and someone that not only shows up in the most abundant ways, but continues to participate in that infinite loop of giving, of buying from and selling for each other for life. Mr. Brent Nichols, I see you here on Clubhouse, my friend. Why don't you unmute yourself and carry us on with the next question?
Nick Glazer, I love you. I'm a Nichols, not a Meltzer, but that's cool too. We're all different. You guys are awesome. So I got a great big. I consider this Friday like going to church. You're like Pastor Dave. You got all the lessons. It's really cool. So thank you for that. The question I have is sort of a big one, right? We have this awareness, and we're like a thirst for knowledge. Like we are aware of a lot of things. Turning that awareness into action. What kind of tips, what's the go-to on just not, contemplating everything before you make an action?
Well, first of all, Brett Nichols is dropping dimes. So we got to love that. I love playing with these names today. We got the Glazer, the Meltzer, and the dime dropper, Brett Nichols in our community. So thank you, buddy. Look, awareness is what? Awareness is what is it I'm doing to interfere with the infinite? That's awareness. Has nothing to do with action. What has to do with your lack of action or procrastination or feeling overwhelmed or decision-making delay is your allowance, the lack of awareness to what you're doing to interfere with where you want to be or better. And so awareness is actually facilitating or making easier the actions where you should look at it as an indicator that if I feel that I'm overwhelmed or procrastinating or interfering with where I want to be or better, stuck in other words, then I want to elevate my awareness to what? To what am I doing to interfere with it? Because I already know that I'm part and parcel, recollected, reminded, and remembered with the infinite. Infinite intelligence, intuition, inspiration, energy. It's already there. What am I doing to interfere with it? So awareness actually is the catalyst to action, because it's shortening the distance of resistance that's slowing down or even stopping your action. So if we're using the AAA strategy to get alignment, especially with our past and the meaning of the past, we take action in the divine direction of where we want to be or better. We prepare for adjustment when we start interfering with our reaction to the fact that there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where I want to be or better. It's awareness that helps us take action, not resisting it or creating interference to it. So I want you, every time that you feel stuck or you feel like overwhelmed or procrastinating, in other words, you have lack of action, I want you to elevate your awareness by stopping, dropping, and rolling, reminding, remembering, and recollecting with your God. Remind yourself, what is it I want in the divine direction of where I want to be or better? What meaning am I giving the mistakes, the failures, the setbacks, the defining moments of my life, the historical relevances that are stopping me or interfering with me getting to my divine direction? Who can I help and who can help me? And how best can I get it done? And then reprioritize your day by what's important to you. And now you've elevated your awareness to see what you're doing to interfere with it. You're shortening the distance of resistance with that wisdom and faith, because there's no evidence or the evidence is contrary to where you want to be. And now you're taking more action, not just more action, better action, action that's aligned with where you want to be or better. Now that's a dime for Mr. Nichols.
Love it. penny for your thoughts, right? Thank you
Penny
so
for
much.
your thoughts. Don't trip over your pennies. Get into dollars, baby. I got it. All right, we got all the coins in place. Mr. Wammer with your golf hat on. What's going on?
We are ready for the next question. We got about 6 minutes left here, showing love to the Travis Matthew, of course, one of our greatest partners of all time. I love the hats, so thank you. Shout out to Ryan Ellis, the incredible CEO over there at Travis Matthew. For our next question of the day, we got about 6 minutes left. I will pass it over to Colleen, who's been patiently waiting. Colleen, the mic is yours. Unmute yourself and carry us on.
Thank you so much. Happy Friday, everybody. So love this training, and it's always just a great reminder of just chasing your potential. I heard something really powerful this week about the idea of burying something from your past. Don't realize is when you're burying something, you're actually burying it alive. So one of the thoughts that came up when that happened was obviously the interference of your potential that happens when you do something like that. And you talk about this idea of polishing your soul, and you're always going to look back at the thoughts and patterns that you had that come up for you until you learn that lesson. So what's your idea on that idea of things that you bury and the fact that they're being buried alive, and if you don't continue to recognize those patterns, you're never going to be able to reach your potential.
Yeah, look, when you find out what's buried, you need to release it. And so what comes to mind for me is the danger of not only what we do bury, but what has been buried. Because it's very difficult to find treasures that are buried. And it's even more difficult, unfortunately, to find traumas that are buried. And so as we see the clues, the patterns, the reaction to fear, it starts to indicate as a treasure map or a trauma map where exactly those traumas are buried. And we need to dig them out inside of ourselves and release them, like a dove in a cage. And so the idea of what are we burying, or worse, what is buried, is only indicated by the clues, the patterns, and the choices that we make. And you can utilize those clues, patterns, and choices as a trauma map in order to discover where your trauma is buried, and then you release it. It is exactly what creates a lot of the meaning, which creates the thoughts and perceptions that create the behaviors that create the results. And so if you want to change the results, you change your thoughts, you change your perceptions, you change your behavior, you'll get the acceleration, aggregation, and compounding of the results that you desire better. And these treasure trauma maps are key. And a trauma map is the clues, the patterns, and the choices we make, indicated by the interference that we're creating, and shortening that distance of resistance each time we're releasing the dove of trauma. We're releasing the trauma and forgiving ourselves and being grateful and accountable and inspired by the trauma, the lessons that we've learned, knowing that if we don't learn the lesson, we won't ever release the buried trauma. Does that make sense?
It does. I love the visual idea of the map. I appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you later today at our meetup on the boardwalk at South Mission Beach at Ensenada Court. It's about 4 houses south of the roller coaster, in case we got San Diegans, Orange Countyans, LAians, Ventura Countyans, Riverside Countyans who travel. People have traveled even farther for the meetup. That's 3 p.m. today at Ensenada Court in the boardwalk in South Mission. I got, you know what, Nick? I want to get you, actually, if that's okay. You got 2 minutes. I want to finish on time. Sometimes I try to push it. We got a whole Q&A today. I think we'll go Instagram live at the meetup as well, so people can join us. If you can remind me to do that, Nick. But give me your takeaway of the day, Nick.
My takeaway of the day, putting me on the spot. My goodness. Let me see here. When we talk about the truth of your potential, what comes through me is the simple things to do are simple not to do. I think that when you really dumb down the truth of your potential, to me, the biggest conduit and vessel for value is using the man-made construct of time and non-negotiables behavior to create what is the compounding of progress and alignment with what I think I want, or in other words, what I perceive my potential to be.
I love it. That's a great takeaway. The simple things to do are simple not to do. Nick, why don't you close out the room on Clubhouse? I'll close out the room here. It's 6:59. We're right on time. As I texted you at 3:30 this morning or so, I'm a time freak, and I'm the freak of the week. Meltzer should mean freak, but David means beloved. At D means first initial. Meltzer, servant. Let me be your beloved servant. Go ahead, close out Clubhouse. I'll close this out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been the truth of our potential. Pursue your truth. Enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. If you would like the exercises, guides, my book, if you would like this training replay, email me, David@dmeltzer.com. David@dmeltzer.com.
Hey! 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 Oh, hey! Wanna know where David's gonna be? Get invites, updates, and community. When he's in your city, you won't miss a thing. Just text the number, let your phone ring, 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 ring. 949-292-905. That's 949-292-905. Events, connection,
and opportunity.
all in one place. Come join the community. So text it now, don't wait in line. Not for life. 949-292-905. That's 949-292-905.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
There's so much more effort someone will give if it is not seen as the job, but the thing that they enjoy doing with their life.
We both view all of it that way. It's like, how in this interaction am I going to add excessive value to the person on the other side? And neither of us, I think, accept anything less than that.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
Very simply, getting people's mind realigned and showing them evidence of what they can do so that they know that they can make the right decision in the moment.
I knew I could get better, and I knew, because no matter how late to the game you are, there's a phrase I invite everybody to live by, which is there's always room for the best.
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
Overarching umbrella, I would say, about how to accomplish it all is to find things that you're just really passionate about and that you love and you're interested in.
You got to do it because you truly love it. And at some point, if you're thriving in it and if you are being progressive at it, you'll probably get recognized for that.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.